So I thought I'd hit the X. I hit the video call. So you know when you are when someone picks up the phone and they've just woken up and you can tell because you can literally hear their duvets shuffling. And not only that, she could literally see me in my bed with my bonnet on. I looked absolutely crazy. And guess who it was? It was my manager's manager. Someone complimented my Awala bottle today.
Oh, really? What did they
This,
say? Was it the color? Wait,
yeah,
was it the colorway that sparks
yeah.
joy or the
It
spout?
was the Joy sparking colorway. She was like, "Oh, I like the color of your bottle, your Awala." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she was like, "Did you do that?" Because people have been swapping the color combinations. So having a bottle and then swapping out the lid for a color that they prefer, so that it's like a
Mm.
mix and match of two really nice colors. Whereas mine is like a pastel combination. So the
Mm.
bottle itself, the body of the bottle that holds the liquid is like a pastel blue, kind of with a purple tinge. And then the
Mm.
lid is like mostly green. The spout is orange. The clicky thing that pops it open is pink. Yeah. The lid that closes it is purple. And the handle is pastel blue. So it's all just a really, really nice colorway. And she thought that I had did some maneuvering and concocting to make it like this and swapped out two, but I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Pastel.
it's the pastel, yeah. And I actually did intend to do that. I intended to swap it. I got three bottles and was like planning to move it around and see which ones I preferred and which combination I preferred. And it actually just happened to be that the original one worked out well for me. So I didn't have to be dishonest on this occasion.
That's I love that. I love when a plan comes together.
Honestly.
That's perfect. There is a pastel that I like as well that's on Urban Outfitters of the Awala,
Mm.
but I don't like the top.
Well, you
So
know what to do.
I know what to do.
Go
Yeah.
into store.
Do a switcheroo.
Anyway, girlie, how's your signal today? What's your bar saying?
Guys, it's a 3 bar day. We made it. Honestly, there's nothing like a bit of sun to get you going.
It really is a fuel source. It's like solar powered. We're literally solar powered.
Yes. Seriously. I've had such a good start to my day. I've been for a walk. I had such a nice breakfast. Oh my God, let me tell you about my breakfast.
Okay.
So I got 2 slices of the Jason sourdough ciabatta
Mm-hmm.
slices,
Mm-hmm.
toast them. Then I buttered it, Lurpak spread.
Yeah, gotta be.
Be generous with that butter as well. Don't
Mm-hmm.
scrimp. Tin of sardines in oil.
Do you know what? I hear it.
Mash
I
it.
hear it. Yeah.
Mash the oil. Don't drain any of the oil. Let the sardines mash into the oil.
That feels like, isn't that a meal that we had growing up?
Yes.
Sliced bread and sardines.
Yes. We would sit on the living room floor and mum would have mushed sardines in oil in a bowl, put it down on the floor. In the next plate, it'd be buttered bread, and we'd just be eating it like pounded jam and
Yes,
soup.
we'd scoop it out with the bread into the, yeah.
So that's basically what I did. I mashed it, put it on top, and oh my God. First of all, it kept me full for so long. Such a
That's
safe.
that protein.
Hmm.
Also, the elevated version is killing me. Not the Jason sourdough, La Pack, and sardines combo. We would literally be there with our Tesco value sardines, or it was Lidl's own sardines. The can't believe it's not butter. And I think we used to love that Kingsmill bread. Yeah,
Yes,
the 50/50 one. Although I think the sardines called for white bread. Yeah,
100%.
pure white bread. And that was a struggle meal.
Yeah,
Do you
it
know a
was.
struggle meal that I've never heard anyone else talk about, and I don't know if this is a combination that was unique to our mum from her very own imagination. Pasta, tuna, and baked beans. And the pasta would be boiled in with a little bit of oil, salt, and she'd slice onions into it while she was boiling the pasta. Do you remember? And then when she added by the time she added the tuna and the baked beans, you're getting all that protein. and you got the flavor coming through, the savory flavor coming through from the brine that she'd created for the pasta. She
Wait,
knew what she was
why?
doing.
Why was that so good at the time? But actually, I think I would hate that.
So good at the time.
Yeah, it was.
It was just missing cheese. Do you know what? It's basically what you put on a jacket potato, but pasta
Yeah,
instead.
that divided the nation for a bit. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, everyone has tuna and beans on the jacket potato," and some
Yeah,
people were disgusted.
that I have to say I'm one of the people that just did not know that that's something you put together. I thought that it was you can have tuna, and
Hmm.
that's a tuna mayo chives or whatever you want to put on there. That's a separate thing with your jacket potato, or you can have baked beans and cheese. It's not about bringing everything together and saying this is all one.
Mm-mm.
But
No,
people do, and then they even add red onions to it.
it was Spud Bros, and they put that sauce on top. Yeah, they popularized it. I don't know that they didn't invent it, but they definitely popularized it, and they put their charger sauce or whatever the hell it's called, tram sauce
Are
on
they?
top.
Is it a northern brand?
Hmm.
Mm. But yeah, so was that the breakfast or anything else? Anything on the
That
side?
No, that was the breakfast. I had a kiwi and a cup of tea to round it all off, but
Wow.
absolutely loved it. Really did. I was like, wow, there you go. What a start to the day. And breakfast is one of my favorite meals of the day. I really, really enjoy
That's
breakfast food.
crazy. It's definitely the worst one for me. Breakfast is so, dinner's the best meal of the day. That's objectively, surely dinner is the best meal of the day. If I have
Yeah.
like two meal options in the fridge, I'll always save my best one for the evening because by that point the day is done. You are literally just sitting down to enjoy your meal, watch a show, switch off, like be in the moment with your meal, just you and that plate. Breakfast is very much functional. You need to eat to start your day, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. But and then lunch is like, okay, well, what's gonna power me through enough, and I can't be too indulgent, otherwise I'll nod off at the desk.
Yeah.
Lunch is get two steaks if you want. Butter that bread and make garlic bread.
Oh my God.
Lunch is you can just go all out, and then you can end with a not just a sweet treat being like a couple handfuls of of Haribo. You
Dinner,
can
you mean?
literally what did I say?
Lunch.
Oh, sorry, definitely dinner. After dinner, you can have a proper dessert.
Yeah.
I feel like dessert in the middle of the day is a bit weird.
It
I
is
don't.
because you're,
Yeah, I don't say it's completely allowed. Listen, I would love a world where everyone does that. This is not me knocking that. But I just never think to have it. I just never think to have a dessert after lunch.
no. Although when I used to work in the city in central London, and this was before COVID, so I was in the office every single day. I worked in Piccadilly and I worked in Piccadilly. So imagine what's around you. You've got Chinatown
Yeah.
over there. You've got every single restaurant you could think of. You've got it at your fingertips every single day. So I'd go to Chinatown and I'd get a buffet. I'd pile, I'd pile my shit in the
Wow.
eat it all. And then I would literally be at my desk, like hating myself. Next week, what do you do?
Seriously,
Go
same
again.
thing, of
Same
course.
thing.
I love
Yeah.
also like work when you're working in the city and on a Wednesday, a food market is always on a Wednesday for some reason. On a
Yes.
Wednesday, just stumbling across a new food market and it's just like £12 for your meal. It's ridiculous. But there's all sorts of different cuisines, different stands, and you can try everything. I thought you were gonna say from Chinatown that you got like all those really nice desserts, like the Chinatown desserts, like the bubble waffles and the
So yeah,
yeah.
we'd always follow it up with, so we'd have a little walk thing at 3 o'clock where we'd go out, and this was when I was in sales, so you could always just say you're canvassing or you're checking out the
Um
streets and all of that. Me and my friend Chris, who's still my friend to this day that I met at work, we would always go for a bubble tea and a dessert around 3. That was like our thing. We'd get a bubble tea and we'd get like, they also did these waffle things that I don't remember what it's called, but it's got like custard in it, or you could get red bean paste in it and it's like enclosed. It's made
ooh.
out of the same sort of waffle batter and it's really nice. I had really liked the custard one. and we'd get it with the bubble tea, and it would just be fantastic. By the time you get back to the office, you're just there like acting like you've just been speaking to loads of clients and canvassing the area when really we've just gone for a really nice dessert walk.
I love that. And I also miss those days early in your career where it wasn't really a career, it was just like your first job and you're just pissing about with your work friends and nothing matters and you're not thinking long term about anything. You don't really understand those kind of expectations. You just do whatever the hell you want. I remember, oh my God, the early days of so my first job was working at a law firm as a paralegal, and that was a very serious job. But I didn't quite grasp that. Like I always have had high standards when it comes to my work. So I would always, want to deliver the best. But in terms of like office politics and how
Mm.
you present yourself and things like that, some of the outfits that I wore, like some tiny little bodycon dresses with pumps and literally my legs would be out, not even tights on to make it a bit less crazy. But also, so that was for a year, my first one out of uni. But my second job after that was in the civil service, so Ministry of Justice. And civil service have been doing working from home literally since the dawn of time. Like it wasn't just a COVID thing. We were doing what we were working from home and we also had flexi time. So where my previous job, it was like you need to be here at 9 a.m. or actually a bit before 9 a.m. so that you're starting your day at 9 a.m. You can't leave any time before 5:30 p.m. and later, depending on what the client needs. Civil service or Ministry of Justice, at least the department that I was in, flexi time. So you could come in any time between 8 and 10 a.m. and start your day, and you could leave any time between 4 and 6. Guess what time I came in every morning? 10 past 10. Guess what time I left every morning, every afternoon? 4 p.m. I was doing literally 6 hour days, having the longest lunches. It was near St. James's Park, so I'd go for nice walks during lunchtime. But one day, I need to tell you the story about when I got caught working from home in quote marks, and I wasn't quite working because also my workload was really low. I was part of a new formed team that was like a business support unit. So we did basically just like supported on project work, and that was kind of my first introduction into project management, which is what I do today. But because we were still figuring out what the scope of our team was, we weren't really having a lot to do. I was doing a lot of admin tasks, a lot of like team support activities, and I'd get assigned projects to support with now and then, but it was very, very light. So I was very free. When I'd be working from home, I would literally be anywhere but at my desk. I would be all around London or I'd be in my bed. And one day there was a role that came up within my team and it was basically it was a management, the role for my manager opened up. So it was a promotion, a level above me. I knew when I came into the role that I felt anyway that I was overqualified. So I was
Mm.
looking for any kind of promotion opportunities so that I could jump up to the next level. And to be fair, looking back now, I don't know if I was overqualified. I think I had the potential and the capability to perform at a higher level.
Mm.
But starting out the place that I started was actually a good thing in the end. Anyway, so I applied for this promotion, did the interview. My manager's manager interviewed me, and let me just say, this woman was a nasty piece of work. She was not good. I did not like her. I'm not going to say her name, even though I want to. But she just wasn't nice. She wasn't a very personable person. Some people shouldn't be managers, and she was one of them. Didn't give you any guidance. Had very high expectations, but never communicated them, and would also feed you to the wolves. Like she wouldn't protect you. And I think that well, not I think
Oh,
managers are supposed to protect you.
yeah.
Anyway, so I had the interview with her. I don't know how it went. I felt quite optimistic. As in, I felt like I showcased my skills well. Actually, I remember at the time when I applied for it, my mindset wasn't, I need this job. I want to get this job and I think I'll get it. I knew I wasn't going to get it. I knew for a fact that it wasn't going to be it was too early. But I wanted to sit in front of my manager and let her hear like see my value and see how like what I do bring to the team, what skill sets I do have, so that she can start giving me work that actually would stretch me and challenge me and I would find interesting. So that was my whole goal in doing that. So I had no expectations in getting the job. Fast forward now, it's one of my working from home days. It's a Friday afternoon. I think I'd called in sick the day before because I wasn't really feeling that well. So this Friday it got to like 3:30 and I was like, do you know what? No one's working anymore. It's Friday, 3:30. Let me get into my bed. Bundled up into that bed, bonnet on. Literally home clothes, pajamas on, bonnet on, cozy. And my laptop was just by my head next to me, literally just
Mm.
warming up the spot next to me. I get a call on Teams, and by this point I'd fallen asleep. I wake up to a call on Teams and it's like 10 past 4. So I roll over and I think I hit the button that. So with Teams, when a call comes through,
Mm.
there are three buttons. The first one is like, I don't know what the order is, but there's one that's just a phone, which means answering with audio only. And there's one that's like a little camera or camcorder, and that shows if you want to answer with a video call. And then the other button is an X. So I thought I'd hit the X. I thought I'd either hit the X or I'd hit the audio call. I hit the video call. So I've hit the video call. I when I say like when you when someone picks up the phone and they've just woken up and you can tell because you can literally hear their duvets shuffling and they're like, mm-hmm. That's what I was giving on the call. And not only that, she could literally see me in my bed with my bonnet on. And I think I had my back towards the laptop as well. So I just turned. So I just propped myself up and turned. I looked absolutely crazy. And guess who it was? It was my manager's manager. Let's call her RC. Teehee. That may be her initials. Anyway, she was looking at me like literally so disgusted, full of disdain. And I was literally like, I quickly hung up. Quickly hung up. Anyway, she called me back and answered via audio and she was breaking the news to me that I didn't get the role.
Oh
And I
my
was
God.
like, girl, you knew not to give me that job. Look at me. Anyway, later on, she sent me an email being like, she basically chastising me on the email saying, when you're working from home, I expect you to be working from home. I expect to be able to trust that you're working. If I don't think that that's the case, then, I can remove those privileges at my discretion, kind of thing. And I, never being able to accept a telling off, I replied back, backing myself, being like, yeah, cheers for that threat. I didn't say that, but I think I was like, it's outside of core hours. It's a Friday afternoon. I was sick the day before. I was just having a quick nap, and it's actually not that deep. I can't remember exactly how I worded the email, but it was essentially just justifying it, being like, it's outside of core hours. So what do you want me to do? Anyway, that was so mortifying. For weeks after, when the memory popped up, I'd just be in public, like laughing to myself. Like, I couldn't believe that she'd see me like that. And every time I worked from home, I was doing my laundry or going on a walk or going into Urban Outfitters to buy new things. I would just remember RC seeing me in my bonnet, having a full-on sleep. Not even a nap. It was beyond nap. Like I was dead asleep. But
The
yeah,
fact that your back was to your to your laptop is
I
so
was twisted
funny.
around looking like, what? So confused. My eyes couldn't even see it because I was still in slumber. But I could never have a working from home day like that again. Like, as in this day and age, with
Mm-mm.
the way that my work is now,
No, there's no room
literally,
for it.
I am sat as soon as from night, like literally from like 8:45, I'm sat here working up until 5:36.
Mm.
Even just to quickly make myself lunch, that's a risk. What if someone calls me? It's bondage. Actually bondage. But I love your sales ones where you're actually with your colleagues just walking around the city pretending to be canvassing, but actually just trying different bubble tea flavors.
We genuinely did have the best time. That actually being my introduction into the world of work was a good thing and a bad thing because I was like, whoa, work is just uni 2.0. Like I'm just with the best people because it was a graduate scheme. And so it was just a bunch of graduates, about 20 of us. We all got on so well, just so many different personalities. I met honestly some of the best people. We had such a laugh. We were also being trained in sales. So we went on this whole training course. And so we'd just be around London, going to hotels, having like companies come in and teach you how to sell and how to influence people and all of this sort of stuff. So it was really good. And we would just dick around the whole time. So when we say canvassing, we would go to Trocadero. I'd never been to Trocadero in my life. That was my first time going. And all of us were like in an arcade just playing around. One time we went out for lunch and we went on a pub lunch where we all just sat on this big table, had a pub lunch, had a pint, finished it off with a dessert, came back to the office. It was just such a good life. If the sales targets wasn't having me by the neck,
Yeah.
then I think I would have stayed forever, honestly. No, it was really, really good.
The
But
sales environment is a really seems like a really vibrant place to work as well.
yeah, you've just got such big personalities, such social butterflies,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was like Thirsty Thursdays except every single day.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
My taste of that is when I worked for Pell and Bells, which I don't think that company exists anymore, but it was a charity call center where we had to where we literally were all just in this big office and everyone was young and like an aspiring actor. I swear everyone wanted to be an actor. And we were all
How
just there like doing reading scripts for different charities and trying to get people to donate.
mm, how old were you for that job again?
This was before uni. I think it was a summer job. Oh, I can't remember what stage of life I was.
I'm just trying to remember what age we all were because we all went for that interview and I
Yeah.
just wasn't taking anything seriously, clearly.
Yeah, I remember me and Ek went on the same day and we had our interview on the same day, I think, or at least very close to the same time.
We were all there. I think we
Oh,
were
no
all
way.
there.
No
No,
way,
Og, we were
Chid.
all there because us
What?
three, no, genuinely, us three came together. I just came home earlier because I got let go. It was like an assessment center type
Yeah,
training
it
type
was.
live environment where they were
Mhm.
trying to,
They
you
put
had,
us all on the phones. This was a bit, I think we got an interview first and then they like did a test where you'd be all on the phones, but it was like not real prospects on the other end. It was like them, I guess.
mm. And so when it got to, and all of us were doing it at the same time, and when it got to like my turn, some of them the calls were fine, but you know when they're trying to be a person on the phone that's combative, being
Hmm.
like, "Oh, get off the phone" or whatever, it just made me laugh, and so I just laughed down, and my laugh is obnoxious as it is, so I was just cackling down the phone, and it's just like you're at an interview. Do you realize where you are?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So then they just kind of told me this isn't for you, clearly. And so I went home earlier than you guys.
Oh,
By the time I
bless
got
you. Bless you. But it's like improv, and I'm not gonna lie, improv makes me giggle every time. I'm like, I don't know what to say. But that energy of where they just plucked people out of the assessment center and said, you can go on home now. You're done. That was exactly how it was when you were working there. Once you got the job and you're working there, at any moment you could feel if you were on a call and you felt a hand on your shoulder and you turned around and looked up and one of the managers were there, they'd say, go ahead and log off after this call. Once you wrap up this call, go ahead and log off. And it's because they've been listening on the other side. So they do drop in listening, like monitoring up some of these calls. And if they felt like you didn't handle something well, and that could be that you answered something that was in a way that was inappropriate, or it could be that you didn't push hard enough to one of the
Ooh.
objections, sorry. They might just be like, okay, give you some coaching, or they might be like, yeah, this isn't for you. And that would be after a few goes. But we knew that our days there were numbered. That was what was just the energy that filled the room was that our targets would be there. If you managed to get a donation, then you're doing well. But a lot of us did not. So I just knew I need to do as many shifts as possible, stack this money as well. It was well paid.
Yeah.
it was a decent amount of pay, but you do like 3.5 hour shifts and you might do two a day or you might do just the one. But by the end of that 3.5 hours, the way my head would be thumping just from all the talking. But we met a lot of people actually, a lot of cool people. We go for drinks, go for lunch together, chat. It was really cool. But it was very much like take what you can get and leave before they tell you to leave. I remember this one guy used to come in with a suit, wearing a suit, and he'd bring a briefcase as well. And he was always at the top of the leaderboard in terms of sales, in terms of his targets, I mean. And I just used to look at him like, is this you for life? Like, is this your career? And I think it was. He was doing that thing where it was like dress for the job that you want, and he wanted to
Mm,
be in sales. So this was a really good intro and entry into it for him. So he took it
mm.
seriously. Whereas I was just there with the script being like, hello, I'm just calling on behalf of Children's Aid or RSPCA. And then they'd say no. And then you'd say, okay, well, I completely understand that you're busy. And of course, we all live very busy lives, so I'm going to let you go. Before I let you go, can I just ask you a quick question? Can you, and you'd say some more spiel about the children that are suffering, the animals that are suffering, and then you'd say, yeah, so poor little Lucy, can you help her out by giving £20 a month? No, I think it was like 10. I think it's like with 10, then 5, and then 3. And then you'd say 10 and they'd be like, no, no. And then you just keep going down. And the whole time they want to hang up, you have to get through your script. It was such a crazy, crazy job. And you'd be wincing on the other end as they were trying to get away and you're having to keep them there. There was one campaign that I did that was just the most awkward one. It felt very inappropriate. So there were two, actually. One of them I didn't get put on this campaign, thankfully, but the people that did was a very specialized group that needed like special training for it, which was asking prospects who were already donating to the charity that we were calling for and getting them to put the charity in their will.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so actually that is the one that I did, where I was calling people who already donate. So you'd think that they'd be warmer and more willing. And actually, in general, they were because it wasn't a cold call, but it was being like, "Hey, can you put us in your will?" And they'd always say something about, "I'm not trying to die soon," or like it made us seem like gold digging vultures
Yeah.
whirling around corpses. Because actually, Chid, it was always people. The pool of people were 50, 60 plus. It was specific to that group. And some people would say yes, and that was really lovely. But often I just felt so awkward.
Yeah, no, that is, how do you even have that conversation? And then
Right.
also, if they object, do you have to keep pushing?
Yeah, there'd definitely be another ask afterwards. I don't know if it was as forceful as, why not? Put it in just a little bit. I think it was more just like, okay, well, do you want us to send you more information about it?
Right.
But surely it's crazy that you didn't get the role, but you're the one out of all of us who ended up in a sales role.
I know. It's so mad because we had to do like an elevator pitch in some of our training. And before I even got the job, you had to do some cold calling or practice cold calling role play scenarios. And as soon as I'm in a role play environment for work, it's funny. Like I want to laugh. I want to cackle. I want to scream, laugh. I actually want to roll on the floor laughing, actually. The whole thing just is funny and silly. Um, but I guess I just had to lock in because I wanted that, what was it, 25K and bonus on top was my first
Yeah,
job. I was
yeah,
like,
which
girl.
that's such a nice amount when you're living at home. You've
Mm.
got no responsibilities. It actually it did a lot. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure my first role was 25K. Was it? 27, I think it was. And then Ministry of Justice was 30. Yeah, 30.
Yeah, I think by the time I left that company, I was on 30 as
Yeah.
well. And I remember actually another thing, speaking of pay, is when we first got our first paychecks in my old company, which same like your Pell and Bells that you were just talking about the call center, this has recently gone into what's the word? Liquidation or administration or whatever it is when they can't do it anymore and they have to just shut the whole shit.
Yeah, I think those are two different ones. I think liquidation is when they actually do have to sell out, like liquidize all the assets. So sell everything that they own to try and claw back anything for the investors. And I think
Ah.
administration is where it's all in discussion. So at this point, investors can step in and choose to put some investment into it, or I think that's what it is. And I should actually know that because the law firm that I worked for was all around debts, like distressed debts, different banks trading debts amongst each other. So we would really be on the lookout when we'd see like a company or something that's gone into administration or gone into into administration. We'd be like, oh, maybe we might be getting instructed if Citibank or JP Morgan wants to buy this and or trade it amongst each other. But yeah, I should know
Mm.
that. I think that's the definition of it. But anyway,
Yeah, I think they went into administration then, but it just closed down. Whatever. Whichever one it is. The first paycheck, I remember us all in the office and everyone just showing each other their pay slips
oh
because we
my
just wanted to
gosh.
have like, I don't know if it was like pay transparency, trying to understand what the different commission meant. And it was so, that was the first and last time I've ever seen a colleague's pay slip before. Obviously, everyone's so weird about pay transparency and money and everything like that. I don't need you to show me your entire pay slip, but I do think that. What are you looking at me like that?
Do you remember when the company that you worked for before, where there was like a whole leak, a data leak breach, where you were able to see everyone's salaries
Oh
from
my
the
God,
very top to the
Og.
very bottom? Yeah.
It was the same company.
Oh, was
It
it?
was it was years after when I had been seconded onto a new team, and this was my because I'm also in project management. This was also my doorstep into project management because it was post sales coordination and pulling all these stakeholders together. So I was seconded during lockdown after being furloughed because they just did not need that many salespeople anymore. And my friend Chris, who I referenced earlier, who she's such a she's still in sales, and I think the reason why she's so good at sales is because she's so good at research, and she will just get all of the information that she needs about a person, about a subject, about information. She's so curious, she's so inner, and that's also why she's my friend because I'm also curious and inner and love information and gossip. But she somehow stumbled across on Salesforce, which is like a tool that we used in sales. She stumbled across contracts and these forms that showed different pays of different people in the company. Yes, which is actually
A huge data breach.
huge. She managed to see what the new lot of people that had been hired were earning, and there was someone I I was kind of mentoring, or I was her buddy because she had just joined and I was trying to kind of training her up, and she was on 33 or something and I was still on 27.5.
That's crazy.
And it was that thing of like, when you come in externally, you do end up getting more.
Hmm.
But how can you be being trained by someone who's paying less than you? Meanwhile, we're all doing the same job. So that was used to then for all of us to negotiate our pay. And that's how we ended up on 30 or 33. I can't remember what the figure
Oh
was, but
wow. Wait. How did you use that? You accessed that information by accident and then how did it all play out?
she surfaced it with me because I don't think it affected her because she was still in sales and she was getting her big money commission and all of that sort of stuff. And I chose to still stay on the seconded role that I was doing, which was post sales work. And I think because she told me and a few of my friends who were in that post sales role, we surfaced it with our manager. We were just honest. We were like, look, it's their fault anyway that it's
Yeah.
accessible. Like
Hmm.
that's HR key information that should not have been easily accessible on Salesforce. So we just spoke to our manager. And to be fair, what I will say about that company, the final manager that I had was up there, top three managers that I've ever had in my career. She was amazing. Marianne, shout out to you. She
Oh,
was just
shout
such
out,
a
Marianne. A good manager is make or break. It actually determines or can determine a lot of your career trajectory. And not to give
yeah.
people that much power in terms of your life, but they do actually hold a lot of opportunities in their hand. The mentoring that they can give you can open doors, the people they can introduce you to, even just like how they relate to you and how what that does to your morale and your confidence, especially when you're early in your career. Yeah, it really is a lot. I remember one of your previous managers was very competitive and he was very inexperienced at being a manager and he was competing with his direct reports, which was
Yeah,
crazy. And that meant that if you did see an internal move that you were interested in, he would do whatever he could to sabotage it, or just even not being supportive, or putting you off the idea, or just not backing you the way that he should. And that is they do act as gatekeepers in a lot of ways.
100%. 100%. And that's why when I did end up moving to the company that I'm currently at, I had such a fear of like, okay, it's not just about the work that I do. It's not just about waking up in the morning and do I like what I'm doing? Do I care about the industry that I'm in? It's about the person that I have to see every week for my one-to-one. And
Hmm.
if you are going to make my life hell, or if you're going to actually prop me up and make me enjoy it. And thank God that my manager is actually a queen. In fact, I'm going to her wedding this year. So
That's lovely. I love that for you.
I
Yeah,
know.
it honestly, that's why a really good interview tip is that whilst you need to show yourself as competent and everything, and you need to show that you match the skills in the job description, a metric that they don't talk about that they're also measuring you on is, do I like this person? Can I stand this person if I have to be around them 9 to 5? Like, is this someone that I don't mind having around the office? Are they going to bring some, are they going to merge well in the team? So
Mm,
it's also good to bring some of that personality out. But I do love my current managers too. They're such a good balance of being personable and a good laugh and a good person to talk to, or good people to talk to. I've got two, but also pushing you, encouraging you.
yeah,
Um, and I love working somewhere where it has clear expectations, which are high, don't get me wrong. And I have no qualms with that because I like being stretched in that way. But knowing exactly what I need to do to be successful in this role has changed so much. So the job that I was talking about, Ministry of Justice, while I was there, I worked under like four different managers in my time, four or five. I was in two different teams, so I got promoted whilst I was there. And the manager that I had when I was leaving was just so awful in the sense that she was a micromanager, but
mm,
she wasn't able to communicate clearly what her expectations were. I knew that they were sky high, but I just didn't know exactly what it looked like. There was no kind of benchmark for anything. And it was such a awful dynamic within my team because there were quite a few of us, and I was the newest one to the team, having been promoted internally. And I think my manager actually liked me. She could see that I was enthusiastic, I was competent. I also had those high standards, so I was doing the work quite well. But there were other members of the team that were falling short of her really poorly communicated expectations when it came to setting a task. You never understood what she was even trying to ask for or what the expected output was. But then you delivered it and then she would just pick it apart. So she literally would just sit and like red line, red mark people's work like we were in school. And whilst I wasn't having that treatment, I was seeing it happen and the level of anxiety that causes, it's that like narcissistic family dynamic. That's what it felt like, where there are like the scapegoats and then the golden children who it's actually a bad situation for everyone involved because the golden children are seeing what life could be like on the flip. So if you make one wrong move, you know that that's the treatment that you're going to get. So the whole time,
yeah,
just like so stressed and anxious, and but you don't even know what you're supposed to do to improve. And we had honestly, it bonded us together as a team because we were all just like we'd all support each other. If someone had something they needed to deliver to our manager, they would message one of us or someone else on the team and say, hey, can we have a chat through this? Can you read through this? What do you think? And we'd all try to have to see it from her eyes. But actually, I think a lot of terrible workplace dynamics like that happen within teams, I think are quite intentional. So something I've learned later in my career is that, and obviously I'm still quite early in my career, but I think I have quite a good level of experience in terms of how things play out in the workplace. One thing that I've noticed is that sometimes these are a deliberate attempt to actually cut down on numbers, so to push people out of the company so that the headcount is reduced without having to actually fire someone. So just creating a hostile environment essentially that
What?
someone feels so regard it's almost like the function of a pip, where it's like, listen, once you get that performance improvement plan, start searching for a role. The number of times I'm redlining your work, I'm making this
Oh,
so unbearable for you so that you know that you're never going to be able to win and you start finding your way out of here without me having to justify, come up with a case and
yeah,
potentially be at risk of getting taken to tribunal for unfair dismissal. So
that
yeah,
makes sense.
I
Because
actually
actually,
I think that was the case in that team.
it's actually really hard to fire someone because there's all these steps that you
Yeah,
have to take, and you have to really have good evidence and
hmm
excuses to pull together.
exactly.
Oh my
Especially in the
gosh.
public sector, it's hard. It's harder to do it as well. But yeah, God, the day I left that, oh my God, that was the best day getting that job afterwards and getting the hell out of that place. And I actually left the civil service completely. I was like, see you guys, take your flexi time, take your good ass pension, take your working from home opportunities. I can't do it here anymore. And I left.
Oh my God. If I was a manager, I just can't imagine myself wanting to be a absolute bitch. I can't imagine myself waking up, getting the Sunday, instead of Sunday scaries, just the Sunday excitements to be an actual villain
I
every
feel like
day.
genuinely, I feel like some managers hate their team because of how they reflect on them. So if they have to get it in the neck from senior management, they actually see their team as ops rather than working with them to get the best results. They're like, oh, these fucking idiots, they couldn't even do that right. And now I'm having to report back to senior management and I look like the incompetent one. And it's like, actually, you are. That's a poor
Mm,
management. Like you need to work with your team to make sure that they're delivering to the level that they should be. And if they're not, that you are accountable for that. I would hate to be a manager. My goal in my career, and I don't have many, I have some salary goals, but one of my main goals is to never have to, to have direct line management for anyone and still just progress up that ladder. I don't want to have to do that. Knowing all the HR policies and having to say no to them for things, I just want to say yes.
yeah.
I just want to say yes, have your leave.
It's
Yes,
so
you can work
funny.
from Portugal you're during while you're away.
It's funny that you say that because you would actually be a good manager. You'd be the type of manager that they'd be like, "Oh my God, thank God that that's my manager," because you would add that wisdom, give them the knowledge and stuff, but you wouldn't be a dickhead as well. You'd be
Yeah,
able to just be like, here's what you need to do, here's how you get good, all of that sort of thing. Approve the annual leave.
seriously,
Yes, log
approve
off at
that leave.
4.
Right.
Like, if you want to get your nails done, log off at 4. Just make sure you send me that thing by close of play tomorrow. Like, it's not that difficult. Why are we
Mm.
making ourselves miserable?
Right. Right.
Honestly, it's so funny the corporate world though, because I never thought that this is what I was. I never understood that this is even when I was in my first job, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm a business development manager, and this person's a Salesforce project manager that would come in and sort out our Salesforce." I did not know what it meant. I didn't understand it fully until you're in it properly for a number of years, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is the scope of what you do. This
Yeah.
is what it means to be this person."
Yeah.
It's like those TikToks that you send me of that guy, and it's like memes of like product managers, project managers.
Oh my God, what is his name? Where he acts
Oh,
out, yeah,
I
acts
think
out
it's
what it's like.
Corporate Sam. He does a
Yes,
lot
it
of
is
like,
skits.
yeah, it's
Basically being,
so funny.
it's so funny, it's so true. Literally, having worked in a tech company, It's exactly that. And being a project manager in a tech company, no one wants you there. No one wants you there. Where is your tech knowledge? Why are you here telling me what to do? Why are you here telling me to do a task that should take 3 days and 2 days? But the thing is, engineers just really love to be able to put their head down and get on with it and do things their way. But I'm sorry, guys, we've got timelines, we've got goals. Like, I have to be able to hold you to those. It's so true. What I was saying as well about work, my first role, not knowing about the corporate dynamics, like, that's what I meant. Like, all of these things, not knowing, it's not just not knowing the lingo, but not knowing the things that aren't said, like the subtext and everything. And some things would be happening. And I just felt like it was not that deep, but actually it was the biggest, deepest thing ever. Like someone
Yeah.
being put on a pip, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, they're working with them to improve that. No,
Mm-mm.
that's prime gossip, by the way. When someone says that this person's on a pip, you're like,
Yes.
whoa, oh shit. Even things like, as a paralegal, the access that I had to all of the partners and lawyers' inboxes meant that I just got goss, everyday goss. And the other paralegal, well, there were two others that I worked with. One of them I actually went to uni with, and we were the same age. And we were just playing in that office. We would both come in late with Greg's every morning. And by late, I mean like 2 minutes late. And that'd be like, oh my God, they're so late. But we'd send a message to each other being like, are you in the office? I'm in the queue for Greg's. Do you want anything? And then we'd cover for each other, like, oh no, she's gone to get milk for the office or whatever. But we would just be in each other's in the partners that we were working with, we'd be in their inboxes, which was our role to monitor the inbox, respond to things, flag anything that's priority, file things away. But we'd see Goss and we would just share that with each other. She was sitting on a bad boy piece of information for a long time, where one of the partners, one of the recently made partners, mind you, who was a star in our office, he was one of the good ones. And he was very like well liked, very charming. He had his clients who would like specifically ask for him. She was seeing in his inbox how he was applying for other jobs.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, so on the day that he actually handed in his notice, we been knew for months that this was happening. And the day that he handed it in, he went. Oh, we'll call her Sarah. So Sarah turned to me and she was like, "It's today, by the way. It's going to happen today." We watched him go to the partner's office, close the door, come out with the partner, with our literal the partner trailing behind him, followed him to his office, had to watch him like log off, shut down his laptop, leave it in the office. And it was like, this is not about handing in notice. This is garden leave. Go. It's not, they didn't want to give him any chance to start notifying his clients and take them with him. Which actually we kind of saw that that was already happening and not so in a kind of subtle way in his inbox. So yeah, it was such a good job for that reason. When we on quiet days, we would just have to do like admin, find admin stuff to do. And my admin task would be going through the inboxes and just reading everything. And I'd go into the folders, the archives, and I'd go to like oldest to newest so I could see all the history from like years before I joined. Oh my God, I love that.
That is a gist lover's dream.
Yes, yes. So you can just imagine how much I was in paradise just from
Yes.
having that kind of access. But there were some e- emails that would be locked, so you couldn't actually view them. And those were the ones that I wanted to see the most.
Of course. Of course. That's where the biggest tea was, the juiciest
Hmm.
information.
Hmm.
Wow. Oh, I would love to be put on garden leave.
Honestly, just let me go. Just let me go. Like you know that you're not getting anything out of me in the next few weeks that I'm here for my notice.
Apparently, a notice isn't, you don't have to work it.
Why are you saying apparently when you know that I didn't work my notice period when I left my job? You know damn well that I negotiated it. So my notice period at my previous job was 3 months, um, which was kind of ridiculous. And because of the nature of the project that I was working on, it didn't make sense for me to stay on for 3 months. And there was such a big team working on it. It was big and complex. So it was easier for me to step away. And I negotiated that down to 4 weeks so that I could just help them support in like handing over and tying over anything that's still outstanding. But 2 of those 4 weeks I used my remaining annual leave. So I was only there for 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks flew by. Time has never moved so quickly as they did in those 2 weeks than the actual time that I was there. Every day was so long. But yeah, you don't have to work your notice, and don't think that you do, guys. If you do have a really long one, or if you're not working on anything that requires your specific input in that time, then you can just negotiate. It's better to agree with them that you're not going to work it,
Yeah,
or agree a reduced duration than just being like refusing to, because that you don't want to burn bridges as well.
that's the bit. Yeah. Anyway, we've done this whole thing, and I did not even ask you what your signal was.
If you didn't, I was hoping to get away from that one. 2.5, three, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. I'm all right, you know.
Here's another hard question. What are you putting on sneakers?
So mine is skincare related. The Inky List pimple patches are the one pimple patch that I've actually used that feels effective, sticks to my face, stays there all day. Literally was a struggle to remove it. You can put your makeup over it, you can put skincare over it, and it will not budge. And has been quite effective in clearing up my spots. So I actually have 3 spots on my cheek at the moment. I don't know what's going on with my hormones, but I've applied a pimple patch to each of them, and I'm gonna see how long it takes for these ones, which are a bit more under the skin surface.
Mm,
So I'll see how it performs. But so far, so good, and I definitely recommend it. If you're also like me and you haven't been able to find one that you've been satisfied with, maybe just give this one a try and then let me know what you think.
I can actually vouch for that one as well because Og's friend Olivia gave us skincare for Christmas last year, and I got the pimple patches as well. They're amazing.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
So I'll join you on that. I'll jump on your speaker.
Oh, okay, fine. I guess we're sharing. Also, just to say, my when my friend Olivia came round, she literally came through like Santa Claus the night
Oh.
before. Twas the night before Christmas. All we see, we're all in my mum's house, as in all the siblings and my brother-in-law, and all we see through the windows of my mum's cul-de-sac are headlights. I'm like, we're not expecting anyone. Lo and behold, Olivia's here with a bag full of presents. And last year we didn't do presents, which we're never going to do that again. We decided that it made
Yeah.
Christmas weird. Christmas this year was weird, and I think it started from the lack of presents. So never doing
Yeah.
that again.
Christmas, let's be real, it's about a lot of things. It is also about
It's
presents.
about the present.
Like,
That sets the tone of the day. You're excited to open your presents, and you're excited to have them around you, and you know try them out. And we didn't get that this last
yeah.
year. Except we did, because Olivia bowled through with a bag full of gifts for everyone. And amongst them was just all of these Inky List products. What a star, what a gem, lovely girl. That really, really did save Christmas for us, so I loved it. Anyway, I think that's enough talking for today.
If you want to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, it is at Still on the Line Sis. And if you want to chat with us, then comment below on Spotify or on YouTube. And if you have a longer thing that you want to tell us, stories, anything that you want to chat about, anything you want us to talk to you about, you can email us stayonthelinesis@gmail.com.
Yes, yes. So please do join in the conversation. Let us know your thoughts and share the episode, guys. Get it out there. Share the
Yes.
joy.
Yeah, if you love it, then don't you want to give it to the person that you love
Yeah,
or the people that you love?
we're not all about gatekeeping here. Put us on speaker.
Yes, that's so true.
Alrighty. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.